Welcome back to Motherland Ursus. Before we begin this discussion, it's important to understand what is Nicheknights. So let's begin with that. The name Nicheknights was made up by the community as a way to signify a style of play where you do something different than playing with the best squad all the time. More specifically, it identifies a group of operators that fit in the same category in some way. The word Nicheknights itself comes from names originally given to those groups of operators. Someone is playing with only guards, now it's guard knights. Snipers? Sniper knights. So on and so forth. That explained, we also need to understand what drives people to play under a Nicheknights name. What are the reasons people decided to play in that manner? Well, it could be for any reason really, but I will give you some I hear all the time. People choose a niche to play with their favorite operators. It is a complicated scenario for some players. You climb your way to the top of Arknights, logging in every day, pulling all the best operators, grinding all of them to a high level, and then you'll forget the characters you really like. Maybe you have a waifu and you really want to play with her in every stage. Maybe her art was what brought you to Arknights. But you are used to beating everything with the best stuff you have. How could you not? You fought hard to achieve this. It's your right to show the game who's the boss now. So slapping that name on your squad might be enough to give you the will to play with your waifu. And then you can enjoy the characters you love and shout out to the world that you are not a fake simp, because you brought your beloved to beat the strongest bosses. People choose a niche to be cool. You are part of a quite big community, and you might interact with a lot of different players, but there might be one thing that is the same in all of them. They have the best stuff in the game, and all of them are trying to prove they are the best in any way they can. But you don't believe any of them is all that great, and you want to be the top dog too. So what do? You search online to find that the strongest squad, capable of clearing absolutely anything with very few operators, are the Abyssal Hunters, for example. And now you have a plan in motion. You quickly raise the ones you haven't yet, and start to smug all over your friends, showing how much of a better player you are. People choose a niche because they are bored. You might be in those situations I mentioned, but instead of wanting to force your waifu in, or to show how cool you are simply annoyed that nothing has color anymore. Every event goes by so fast, and there is no challenge on the horizon for you. Maybe all you do is farm 1-7 and C6, and can't withstand another random dude telling you that farming a random in the base is not optimal. In that situation, you would start to farm resources again, or maybe even just spend the massive stack you have saved up, and you would feel the thrill of playing a new game. Maps would be hard again. You would finally have a use for all those drill plans and sanity potions. You would taste defeat once more. And maybe that's what you want to be happy with the game again. And the last one. People choose a niche because they heard it's about time they do so. Some players are perfectly happy with the game. They play how they want to play. Maybe they love changing squads all the time. Maybe they like playing with their waifu sometimes. But they are more than fine with swapping her out if they find a situation where she is apparently useless. They might not care about competing, and if anything, they could be annoyed by others around them trying to show how cool they are all the time. Maybe they do like competing, and they want it to be big stuff. They want to use their best operators to their max potential everywhere. And those players aren't bored of the game. They are actively playing every day and enjoying how they do it. But eventually, they give in. They heard enough times about how they are bored and they end up believing they should be bored and they are wrong and they don't understand themselves. At that point, they choose a niche at random or for whatever reason they are told to. And instead of being happy once again, the game stops feeling the same. and they see themselves drowned by everything their friends kept talking about, and they can't escape it. They stop enjoying what they do. And this is the reason why you should not play a niche. Nicheknights has become a hot topic around the community, and even inside the largest servers, full of meta believers and guide fanatics, it shows itself all the time. People who do it for good or terrible reasons keep pushing it, because they had a moment of enlightenment and need to shove it in as many players as they can. The reality here is that playing a niche is a legitimate way to enjoy the game, but doing it without a good reason can backfire tremendously. No one knows you better than yourself. Except for Google, they know you better than anyone. But you know what you like, and forcing yourself to play in a different way because someone keeps telling you how much you are losing, or how much you should be bored of the end game, is not very nice. There are many ways to enjoy Arknights. You don't need to force yourself into a trend to do it. Most of the niche players out there are meta players all the same, so there's not much difference simply in playing a specific squad to give up the meta and go back to birds, cats, wolves, defenders, specialists, and whatever else. If you stop to look closely, a lot of niches are more than strong enough to beat everything and anything without a sweat. Those barely even add a challenge, so that is a reason that doesn't always apply. Now, don't get me wrong here. As I said, playing a niche can be a very legit thing to do. And if you want to do it, don't be held back by a random dude in the internet telling you not to do it. But if you are not sure about wanting to do it, if you can't find any reason, not even a simple "because I want to do it," then there's no point in doing so. There are very strong feelings that come together with niche players. Most of us who started doing this before it was the hot deal really enjoy it, and many can't even understand why you would play Arknights with the best operators all the time. But that is because we love the game so much that we can't accept such an easy way of playing the game. Experience brings skill, even more when you are constantly trying your hardest. But the truth is that the majority don't want to do their best. They have no reason to do so. And even if they want to do their best, they can still do it with the meta operators. It might look boring, but it also might not be for those people. And there is another point I want to cover. Competition. Niche players tend to really enjoy competition. As I pointed out before, one of the reasons people play like this is to show how cool they are. And there is a growing community around records in Arknights. People play for the lowest number of operators, for the lowest rarity, or for playing the least amount of Arknights you can to clear a stage. But the way this has grown, it has become a niche thing to go for those records. You don't have a single record for lowest top count. You have a record for supporters, for cats, for vanguards. And if you want to be part of it, you can believe there are many waiting for competition, and they will welcome you with a fiery passion. These competitions are not that big right now, and many players really want someone they can fight against. But the counter-argument here is, how much does being the best really means to you? Do you want to play for records? Do you want to go beat the first stage of every event because no one uploaded it before, just to have your name in a website listing you as a recordist? Well, some do. Having that title can mean a lot of self-achievement, but in the end, this is community driven. And if you know the big book of records from a few decades ago, records only mean something if you want them to. So don't go start a niche just to hunt for records nobody cares about. Don't play a niche because you are told you have to do it. If you want to play a niche, do it for a good reason. For a reason you can believe in. Even if what you believe in is hunting records in X1CM. But in the end, there's not much we can do to accept each other as a community. We are made from people all around the world with different schedules, beliefs and perceptions of fun. Let's start by not hunting each other down, shall we? And this is the section where I ask you to tell me your opinions down in the comments, and also to like and subscribe for more. Today I wanted to talk about this because there is a growing segregation appearing more every day, and it doesn't really make sense to hate each other just because we don't play the same way. Records aren't the be all and end all of Arknights. If they were, we would have an internal leaderboard. But this goes for the other side as well. People trying to have fun are not your enemies, leave them in peace. This was Kuma, and I hope everyone has a very nice day. Peace out.